What's it got on it?
Shop Overland Apparel.
Oh my goodness. What is going on?
Hey,
You
buddy.
know, we haven't done this since last year. Here we are in 2023. Happy New Year. You're live on Professor Bats and Friends. Here we go.
Yeah, buddy.
And oh man,
I love that new video.
new videos are out. New year.
New
It's a
year.
brand new Professor Bats and Friends for 2023.
Heck yeah.
How are you, Tony?
I'm doing good, buddy. I'm doing real good. It's a
Man,
good
I am
good
doing
start to the year. How about you?
I am doing pretty stinking good. Gen Xers are with us.
Gen
Gia
Xers
Ann
are
is
with
with
us,
us. Thank
everybody.
y'all for joining us. We appreciate y'all being here. Make sure that you come on here and give us some love by typing in some comments because we like it when you do that. We'll
We
put you up
love it.
there on the screen
Love
and
to
we'll
hear
make you
from you.
famous.
World famous. World
We'll
star.
make you famous. Make you famous. My goodness. I tell you what, it has been a long time since we've done this.
Too long, buddy.
It's been since way before Christmas. We've done one show right before Christmas. We did our show where we did our recommendations for Christmas presents, and
Yeah.
I hope everybody got everything that they ever wanted.
Yep.
But anyway, it has been too long, and we are trying to get back. Jason Adams, hey man, hey,
Buddy.
what's up, bro?
Experiencing Arkansas in the house.
Yeah, appreciate you being here.
Yep.
It is. It's been a great end of the year, great first of the year. How about you?
Yeah. Yep. It's been good. It's
Yeah.
been good. We didn't really travel anywhere. We did a couple of day trips, stuff like that. Kind of
Hmm.
hung around here, saw family. We got two Jeeps, so of course I had to spend some time working on the Jeeps.
I love it when a man admits it. I love it when a man admits it. You
It's
know,
part of it.
that's
It's part of
that's
it.
the way it goes sometimes. I actually, you're a Jeep guy, I'm a Toyota guy. We both have had to work on our vehicles. So, I
Yep.
mean, that's the way it goes. You
That's right.
use them,
You
you
use
wear
them.
them out, you fix them up, you take them back out. That's the way it goes. That's the way it goes. But
Yep. Get them dirty, rinse. What is it? Rinse and repeat.
yeah,
What's the
yeah, I
phrase? Rinse and
swear,
repeat. Yeah.
it's kind of like, the Lord sends down a good rainstorm and gives you a good truck wash, and it seems like you just get it dirty right back all over again.
That's
So
right.
that's the way it goes.
That's right.
How was your Christmas?
Yeah.
Did you have a good Christmas?
Yeah, we did. We did. So we did a couple of day trips, just kind of exploring around. Went over and saw Joe and Misty from The Day We Make,
Mm-hmm.
and hung out at their cabin, and then did some trails there around close, and yeah, just
Very
kind of
cool.
low key. Didn't really do a whole lot. Had the whole week off between Christmas and New Year's, and
Nice.
yeah, cleaned
Back
out
in
the
the
garage a
corporate
little bit.
world. Back in the
Yeah,
corporate world. So
yeah,
you cherish those days off.
yes, sir.
Cherish those days off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
got to use them wisely.
Use those days off wisely. Well, I use my days off pretty wisely. I got 2 weeks off. It seemed like 2 days, but I got 2 weeks off, and it was real fun. We did some Christmas with the fam, and got some really great Christmas presents. Family really took care of me and got me pretty much everything I wanted. It was amazing. Went Northwest Arkansas, did Christmas up there again, and then left at 3 a.m. on the 27th.
On purpose?
Drove 14 hours, 880 something miles to Coyote Crossing. And look who is on here.
Speaking
My good
of,
old buddy Rob. Man, it was good to see you, Rob. I tell you what, it was pretty amazing because I drove 14 hours. I got on the Hip Camp app and it wouldn't let me do a reservation at Coyote Crossing, and I was so misput. And I said, I'm going there anyway, and I'm just going to pull up to the front door. And that's what I did. I pulled up to the front door, right underneath the canoe. Rob comes out and he said, "Man, I ain't seen you in a while. You looking great. You must have lost some weight." And I'm like, "I ain't seen you in a year and you recognize me." Now that is customer service right
That
there.
is. That
Coyote
is.
Crossing down
That's a
there at
cool.
Study Butte, Texas.
That's a
I
cool
would
place.
highly recommend it. We stayed there 4 nights and absolutely loved it. The only thing I was kind of misput about was that he had to redo his bathrooms a little bit, and he took down the Razorback that was behind. He had to replace the Razorback that was
Oh
behind
no.
the bathrooms. I know I was so upset. I was so upset. I want to send him a big giant Razorback to put down there behind us because that's what he had when we were down there in 2021 or 2022.
Right.
Uh,
Right.
and so I was so excited about that. I got some pictures with that. That was so cool. But yeah, yeah, right. He thought that was funny. But anyway, it was so nice. Loved being there. You talk about the best view from a toilet seat. It is
Yeah.
so amazing.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. But
Yeah.
we were able to get behind one of those little knolls the first couple nights because the wind was real bad. Slept like a baby. It was so nice.
So
So
you guys weren't down there where we were the year before, right? You weren't quite that far.
in Coyote Crossing,
Yeah, on his
we
property.
stayed there one night. But the other times we got there late in the afternoon, and somebody already taken that spot. But we got to stay in that spot one night.
Okay.
Believe that was the second night we stayed there, back in that little,
Yeah.
the very very back spot. Yeah,
I
we got
think
to
that
stay there
was a
one time.
far corner of his property there.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it was super nice, but it was really nice. We had a super amazing time. So I'm dating somebody new.
Oh.
Started dating back before Thanksgiving. Her name is
Oh.
Gia. She's actually on here tonight. Gia Ann. She loves to travel, loves to do outdoorsy type things. So she came down. We had Christmas with my family. I went had Christmas with her family, and then we went down there together. And it was such a nice trip. It was so cool. But
Yeah.
in fact, something that's never happened to me before, I'd always wanted to stay down on the river road
Yeah.
down there in the
I remember
park,
you talking about that
right
quite a
there
bit last
on the
time.
Rio
Yeah.
Grande. I've
Yeah.
always wanted to stay there, and I couldn't believe that they actually had some spots available. But we went to Panther Junction. I was able to get in there and get a spot, and it was so cool because we got down there in the afternoon. We went to the Boquillas Overlook, and we did the Boquillas Canyon hike. Came back, and we got there about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And I heard something, and I heard these cows like really close to where we were camped. And then all of a sudden, I heard this thump, 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 and here come this caballero, this Mexican cowboy with his lasso right behind these cows. I guess they had crossed the river. He was trying to get them back on their side, and he was chasing them right through our camp. I said, that is the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Oh wow.
So anyway, that was fun. Got to experience that a little bit, and but we just had a great time. The weather was great. It rained a day or two while we were down there, but it was nice. I got to see the storm clouds move across at a distance. It was really nice. So we had a really great end of the year, first of 2023. So that
I,
was
you-
that was fun.
I I forgot to ask you, did y'all go back to the Starlight?
We went to the little store that's right there beside it, but we didn't actually eat at the
Okay.
Starlight.
All
In
right.
fact, this was a very interesting trip because we did not eat out one time until we stopped on the way back to Denton, Texas. We were going to stop at Outback RV of Texas and see some of the trailers there. We stopped about 100 miles out and got us some Popeyes chicken. And that was the first time we ate out the whole time.
I
We
mean,
did picnics during the day, and I cooked every night and absolutely loved it. So
yeah,
we didn't eat out one single time while we were
that
there. It
sounds
was
like a
it was
good
fun.
trip. That
It was
sounds like
fun.
a good trip.
Yeah. really fun. So had a great time. That's the first time she had ever car camped. She's always been a backpacker, lived in a ground tent, and the last day she just wanted to chill. She's a book reader, and we got back to Coyote Crossing a little early in the afternoon. This was on New Year's Eve, and so we got back early that afternoon. I popped the tent up, and it was just the most beautiful evening. Not a cloud in the sky. The wind was not blowing. I popped the tent up, and she just crawled up in the tent and read a book and just stayed up there all afternoon. And I opened up all the windows, and she said, "This is the funnest thing I've ever done." And I thought, "Yep, it's fun. It's
Yeah,
fun."
yeah,
That's the
that's
only
awesome.
upstairs house I've ever had.
Yeah,
And
and
so
you guys got to see Clay Henry again. Went by
got
and
to see Clay Henry. Don't know if it was the same one or not. He looked kind of different, but
yeah.
Clay Henry was there.
Does he still like the blue wine coolers?
I don't know. They have a little feeder there now where you put quarters in and it spits out goat food. And
Oh,
so Clay didn't even come up there, but his little girlfriend came up there and ate out of G's hand.
okay.
So we got to meet her and see her again. I don't know if it's the same girlfriend he had the last time we were
Might
there, but
might be a different mayor elect.
so Lahita still has their goat mare, so nobody has to worry about that. It's pretty fun, pretty fun.
Awesome.
But we want to get into. I want to talk about tonight some things that we did in 2022. We had a great year last year,
Yep.
and I've always had this saying. I've always believed this saying: in order to know where you're going, you got to know where you've been. And so I really want to go over what we did last year and kind of reminisce about some of the cool things because as I got to going through some of the shows that we did last year, I was like, man, that was cool.
That
And
was a
then it
good
came
year.
up the next one. Oh, that was cool. Oh, I
Yeah.
got to talk to that person. That was cool. And so I really want to talk about a few of the things that we did last year and then get into 2023. But first, let's have our sponsor spotlight. Here we go.
It's now time for the Sponsor Spotlight, talking about all the products, services, events, and businesses that we use and love. Here we go.
So this week we're going to highlight the More Expo that Chris has always been very good to us. April 21st through the 23rd. Mark your calendars now for the S'more to More Overland Rally. Educational training by some of the top names in the business. They've got camping, live entertainment, over 200 exhibitors from all over the world. He's making it even larger this year, so he has both indoor buildings. So if you've been there, I talked to Rhino about this last time we were up at Artemis. But he has both indoor buildings. So if you pull up to the Moore Expo in the past couple of years, you see that they have the main hall, and then over to the right, they have this gigantic, like an arena or something
Hmm.
like that. And for what I know, he has both of those buildings, and they will be both full of vendors.
Uh-uh.
Yeah, full of
Oh
vendors
my
this year.
gosh.
Over 200 vendors from all over the world bringing the latest and greatest overlanding and outdoor products. It is the only and largest overlanding expo in the Midwest, and you need to be there. Get your tickets at www.moreexpo.com. Here is a little teaser of what you might see in April of this year. I
Man,
don't
that
know
just
if you
gets me
noticed, but
so
the little
pumped.
girl snuck in there at the end. The FJ snuck in there at the end, had a little about a quarter of a second that you could see the FJ in there. So that was
Yes.
pretty cool. You were in the Rhino Rack booth last year.
I
I
was,
was in
yeah.
the Artemis booth, and my FJ was out in the what do you call
Storyteller.
that? Storyteller
Yep.
booth. I think Arla's Jeep was out there too, wasn't it?
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Arlo was out there with the Lady Overlander radio or
Mhm.
Misty.
That's cool. That's cool.
So,
There were some cool people out there. Chris Marler's in the house.
hey, buddy,
Appreciate you being here, Chris. Thank you for joining us.
man,
So
that guy travels all over the state. Have you seen the stuff that he works on?
it's bigger than life.
Barges and cranes, and I mean
Humongous.
he's up at the butt crack of dawn and on the other side of the state by the end of the day. I don't know how he
Yeah,
does it.
he's something. He's got a lot going on there, and I'm real happy for him. Started his own business and
Yes.
really doing well.
Yep.
So a year ago, you had just come on the show right after October, right after Rendezvous.
Yep.
We had come on and talked about Rendezvous. I think you came on with Nathan Anderson, the photographer that was at Rendezvous or something like that. Somebody was on there with you. I can't remember who it was, but I told you at the time that was going to be your like tryout to be on the
Yeah.
show,
Yeah.
and apparently it worked out because you're still here.
I am.
And so after that, we just kind of blew up. We renamed the show Professor Bass and Friends from the just plain old Professor and Friends, and we just started having guests on, and it just kind of went from there. It was so fun. In fact, right after that, we took our first trip together, a long trip. We actually went to Big Bend, spent New
Yeah.
Year's down there. Met Aaron from Artemis down there. Matt, Kara were down there. We all had New Year's together. And
Yeah.
so right after we get back from there, we did 2 shows because one show was not enough to
Yeah.
talk about everything that we had happened. It was such a great time.
And we tried to go live from down there.
We
That was a hoot.
we tried. We tried. It was in fact
See?
I tried to get on Kara's show, but it kept knocking me off. And
Yeah.
I mean, we were walking around down there, Coyote Crossing. We were holding the phones in different areas, trying to walk up on little knolls, trying to get up there.
Yeah.
It was a hoot. It was a hoot. Then let's see, January 26th, we did what we planned on in 2022, kind of like this show with no history, but this year we kind of have a little history. We have something to talk about. Right off the bat, we had Fast Rack. Chris came on, talked about doing overland with his 2-wheel drive Tacoma, which was very neat. Chris is a very animated guy. I love talking to him. A super
Yeah.
guy, and he
Yeah,
goes
he
out
did.
all the time. Fast Rack Overland has a great YouTube channel. You should check it out. Right
Him
after
and
that,
Shopcat.
do what?
Him and Shopcat.
Yeah, and
He
Shopcat.
takes Shopcat with him. Anyway.
Right after that, we had Fries on the side. Came on. There's some YouTubers. The Waters came on February 17th. Brandon Haven Waters did talked about overlanding with kids, and now they had just had a baby.
Yeah. Not just kids, little kids.
Little kids.
Yeah.
And they go every weekend and take their kids, and I think I have a lot of respect for that. That's so cool that they do that. So that was fun. Chris came on, talked about More Expo, and then we had like right then we hit some big names. Mountain State Overland came on. They had just went on the Transamerica Trail and had a group, and they did I tell you what, he does some of the best videos that I've seen on YouTube. Man,
Yeah.
their music, that group that does their music, is just outrageous good.
Yeah.
Such a nice guy and very personable guy. He actually had Aaron from Artemis come down, bring his Land Rover down there, and he traveled with them while they were going through Arkansas. So that was a treat. That was a treat. Cotty Wample came on March 16th, and they actually came on while they were on a trip.
Yeah.
They were sitting in the rain underneath one of their awnings. It was freezing cold, and yet they still did the show with us. I thought that was cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of got to
a
know.
thing. They got rain involved in just about everything they do. Seems like.
I tell you what, I've never seen a group that goes through more rain than they do.
That's
and
right.
If you want to go and get some experience in the rain, go with Cotty Wample, because I guarantee it's going to rain wherever they are.
I tell you, even if you say I'm gonna go wheeling with Bill and Deb, it's gonna rain on you on the way there.
On the way, yeah.
On the way.
It's almost like that little Peanuts
It is.
character that has the little cloud over their head that rains all the time.
Right. Yeah.
Oh man, MC Ranch Overland, one of our sponsors at the time out of
Mr. Mike.
Canada, came on, talked
Yep.
about his original fire reflector. Neat guy.
Hopefully he gets to come down to the U.S. this year. He's
Yeah, I hope
talked
they
to,
open the border where he can get down here.
yeah, he's wanting to come down and travel and go to some of the expos and stuff. So maybe we
Mm-hmm.
can meet up with him sometime.
Then we had Oklahoma Overland. He was doing the Oklahoma circumnavigation route that he was working on. This is a route that goes all around the outer perimeter of
Yeah.
Oklahoma, which I
Okay.
would like to do on my adventure bike one of these
Yeah.
days.
That ought to be fun.
I think that'd be a little quicker, but the dust and the wind, whew, I tell you what, that's going to be something. We'll see.
Yeah.
Chris with
So
More Expo came on right before the expo to talk about everything that was about to happen, like the day before the expo opened. He came on with us. Then after the expo, Porker came on and talked about going to More Expo for the first time. He was actually in the Rhino Rack booth with you, had
yep.
just built his Tacoma out
Yep.
and just put the new Rhino rack on. And so
Right.
he was pretty excited about that and got that going. Chris with Trail Ready Coffee came on March the 20th. Brad Brazel came on April the 27th from Go Explore USA. Brad had just left Natural State Overland and fulfilled his dream about leading people on guided trips in the Ozarks, Ouachitas. I think he's going to do one in Kentucky. And real excited for people who follow their dreams and go through with it. No, I was real
Right.
excited for him.
Right. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
I do too. In fact, Thursday, I will be traveling with him into the Ouachitas. So
Nice.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I will be traveling with him.
Tell Brad we said hi.
I will. I was actually working on my diesel heater because it's supposed to get down to like 28 every night this weekend. So I want to be
Well,
warm and
you got
toasty.
that fancy Kabari, so you won't need your diesel heater.
I
It's
will.
like a
I
Ford.
will need my diesel heater.
Yeah. Okay.
But the problem I had the last time I took it out in Missouri was that my hose wasn't long enough, and I had to build this contraption for my heater,
Oh,
for my
sorry.
hose to reach up in my, and so I was afraid the whole night that it was going to fall off and rip everything apart, but it didn't.
Right.
And so now you should have seen me before I came on. I had two hoses, and I had duct tape, and I had the zip ties. And I took two of them. I took one of the connectors off. I fitted it together, zip tied it, and then duct taped it. So I got this. It's like a 35-foot hose. I could set it in your truck and warm my hose now. Warm my
Nice.
10. I promise you, it's going to be
It's gonna
the
be
best. It's going to be
toasty.
the best. I can't wait. Oscar Mike came on, the great group that we support. They take veterans out on overlanding trips. They're out of Kansas City area. Love those guys. And then one of my favorite guys that we ever had on, 395 Junkie. That was a treat. That was a treat. I
Yeah.
love that guy. He
Yeah.
was just in the process of moving from California to, where did he move?
Idaho.
Idaho. That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. And
Completely changing.
they started a complete new YouTube channel about their building their homestead and stuff. And I haven't had
Yeah.
a chance to go back and start watching yet, but I'd like
And
to
I
learn
told
more about
him at the time that we was going to have him on again after they kind of got settled in and talk about the change that he's had. And I would love to have him on
it. Oh yeah.
again. May 18th and 24th, which was my birthday, we did a show on preparing for an extended adventure because we were about to leave for Colorado and Wyoming. And that was one of the highlights. Jason, I swear
I was cracked. I was waiting for somebody to say something
Jason,
about your hose.
I appreciate your comment, Jason, about needing a longer hose. That's one of the issues that I've had since I was a kid. So it's just one of the deals. One of the deals there. But I took two hoses and I made one, and now it's plenty long.
There you go.
I don't know if that's possible, but I did. And then on 8/22, we took some time off during the summer because we were gone, and we did not have any service whatsoever, except through an inReach most of the time.
Yeah.
And so August the 2nd, Tanner Johnson. Man, what a cool guy. I love this guy.
Yeah.
He does all the builds for X Overland. Yes, the X Overland. He's their photographer, videographer, does a lot of their videos, but he is their upfitter. Whenever they do one of their builds, he is the guy. And he actually got to go to Iceland with them.
Yeah.
And so I need to watch those videos. I don't know if they've come out yet.
I know.
Need to watch that. After that, we did an Overland Gear series with rooftop tents. We talk about cooking devices. So on August 31st, I had Lindsay Bond on, who is a female who took her kid out by herself with a group in Colorado.
I remember that episode.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really remember that much about it because
you were sick. You were sick with COVID during all that. Yeah, that was
COVID.
Yeah, that was a little something. Glad you got over that, and glad you lived. Glad you lived. I just want you to know that from the bottom of my heart.
Appreciate that.
I'm glad you're still with us.
I'm glad I'm still with you too.
September the 7th, we talked to Natural State Overland. All those guys came on. We had just like always when Randy and the guys come on, they all live out in the middle of nowhere, so the connection was just horrible. But we got those guys on there and to talk about Rendezvous in the Ozarks coming up in October. October 19th, we had a Rendezvous recap. And then for 3 weeks straight, we talked about overlanding extracurricular. So we talked about what you like to do when you're overlanding, whether you like to mountain bike or hike or paddle or pedal board or whatever you like to do. And that was fun. I enjoyed that.
Right.
And then November the 30th, we did our holiday gift guide. We did 29 shows over 30 hours, and it was fun.
Yeah.
2022. That was cool.
What
was your favorite? What was your most memorable time on the show in 2022?
Golly, I mean, I don't know. I enjoy talking to all our friends, the people that we've met and grown to, call friends and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But that stand out to me is the things like Tanner Johnson. You see somebody like that, and he's like, to me, he's like celebrity status, so just being able to talk to him and in person and just sit here and stare at the screen while he's talking.
I know, I was so dumbfounded most of the time.
Tanner.
And when I talk to him, and he and I are friends on Facebook, we message each other all the time, and he tells me happy birthday, I tell him happy birthday. I mean, just normal stuff like that. Yeah. And he's just a normal everyday guy.
Yeah.
And when I contacted him and I said, man, I'd really like to talk about, videography and stuff that you have to work on because your videos are incredible. After they did their Alaska trip, X Overland did their Alaska trip. I mean, it's like a movie.
Yeah.
And I wanted to interview him and just talk about that stuff. And he was like, man, I'll ask Clay if he wants to come on. I was like, Clay would be cool. I've met Clay. Clay's a nice guy, but I want to talk to you.
Yeah.
And he just couldn't believe that we wanted to talk to him. I thought that was cool. Such a humble guy.
Yeah.
And just a family guy. He's got little kids, such a neat guy. That was probably one of my favorite times too.
Yeah.
Him and 395 Junkie, two of the guys that I've always respected.
Was pretty close too. Yeah.
Yeah. I've always respected those guys, and Mountain State Overland, always a good interview. Those guys, but just talking about the topics was fun.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that. Now, we have a great year planned. We're probably going to fly by the seat of our pants, just like we always do. It'll be like this week. I'm going to say, hey, Tony, what you want to talk about next week? And we'll figure it out. And then by Tuesday, we'll throw something together. Yeah, that's the way it usually goes. But it'll be a good year. We have friends that I want to contact and have them come on the show because I think that they are experts and I think they have something to share, something to add. And I believe that they would be able to have a lot of input as to what we talk about. And we have a lot that we could learn from them. And I want to do that. But let's talk about 2023 for a minute. But first, let's pause for station identification. You are watching and listening to Professor Bats and Friends.
Hi, this is Jerry from Kembo Tusk.
I'm Lisa.
I'm Katie, and we are Team Wild Maven.
Hey, this is Aaron with Artemis Overland Hardware.
Hi, I'm Matt.
And I'm Kara from Ozark Overland Adventures.
I'm Tate with Overland Spices.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Drew with Rock Squatch Designs, here with the Rock Squatch.
This is Jeff with Bad Active Tip.
And you're watching
Professor
Bats.
Professor Bats and Friends.
Professor Bats and Friends.
Professor Bats and Friends.
Professor Bats and Friends.
The Professor Bats and Friends.
Professor Bats and Friends.
Yeah!
What a good high five.
High five, buddy.
High five.
High five.
That was fun.
That was fun. I love that.
Yeah, we want to appreciate everybody who takes time out of their busy day to look at the camera and say, "You're watching Professor Bats and Friends," because that's pretty cool, and I love it when they do that. And all the support that we've had through the years has been amazing. I love it.
Just real quick on that. Whenever last year at Moore, that was such a great experience. I really enjoyed, meeting and talking to everybody. But one of the things that I enjoyed a great deal was going along and talking to people and recording, everybody talking about, Professor Bats and Friends and stuff like that. So,
and they were so excited to do it.
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah. That was so
neat.
much fun.
I love it. I think it's cool.
And doing that again this year.
Heck to the yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, do you have plans for trips in 2023? Any ideas?
Some ideas, nothing really hard and steadfast plans. I started talking to Joe Tokarski. I don't know. We started looking at some of the backcountry discovery route stuff.
BDRs.
The BDRs. And so I downloaded all of those routes and started looking at all of that stuff. And I was like, oh my gosh, where do I begin? So much good stuff. I still haven't done all of the Enchanted Rockies Trail. So this year for me, what I think I'm going to try to do is pick one of those and do it start to finish.
Cool.
That's what I want to do this year. Start to finish, do one of those trails. And so we've got the kayaks. We didn't use the kayaks at all last year, and I want to do some kayaking this year. I'd love to do the Buffalo. You and I have talked about that a few times. So maybe more kayaking this year here locally. So anyway,
sweet.
Yeah.
Well, I know plans always change. You on a whim took off to Utah. When we were heading back east, you were like, I'm just going to spend a few more days in Colorado. And then next thing I know, we're getting up the next day and you're sending pictures from
Arizona.
And so I was like, boy, he went to driving and he just didn't stop.
Yeah.
And so it was just one of those things where I was like, holy cow, that's the way plans change on a whim. And if you've got time and if you've got gas money, why not?
Yeah.
Why not? So
I about stopped at 3:00 in the morning when there's a deer or a donkey standing in the road.
Well, that's the way it goes. Sometimes you run into some family members right there in the middle of the road.
Yeah, so, right.
That's the way it is. I've got a few plans. They all may change. Brad with Go Explore has asked me to be one of his cooks or chefs or whatever you want to call it on his trip. Yeah. So I'm pretty pumped about that.
I mean, if I had his situation, you'd be who I'd ask to be my cook.
Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Well, I've got me a new tent ordered for my trailer, and I'm getting my trailer all set up so I can get out there and do some cooking for everybody. And I'm real excited about that. In fact, like I said, I'll be leaving this Thursday, going down to Lake Sylvia and meeting Brad and the crew down there from Go Explore, and we'll be going out this weekend to do a pre-run on what we're going to be doing the end of spring break. So that'll be the end of March. Yeah, be a practice run, and then we've got a trip to Kentucky on the Kentucky Adventure Trail. I believe that's going to be in October sometime. And kudos to Brad and congrats to Brad. He's got all of his spots already sold out for the year, and I'm
Yeah.
very excited about that.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. I've got another backpacking trip planned to, let's see, a week from this Friday. I'll leave again, do another 22 miles on the Ozark Highlands Trail. Real
Yes.
excited about that.
Yes.
Spring break. Right now, I want to float the buffalo.
Yeah.
Start if the weather's right. Want to float the buffalo. I've always on my bucket list wanted to do the buffalo start to finish.
Hey, do you have a wetsuit?
I don't.
Is that a thing?
It is a thing.
Is it?
So are dry suits.
Is that what I mean?
I don't know because they're different. One keeps you
Yeah.
dry, one keeps you wet.
That's what. Well, the suit that keeps you dry when it's wet out is what I mean.
Right. They're two different things. Some people
Okay.
prefer one over the other, but there are two different things. But I do not have one.
You do
Uh,
not have one.
if you do the Buffalo River in cold weather, it's highly recommended that you have
Highly.
one. So maybe looking into that. April, we will both be at More Expo. Not sure in what capacity yet. Not sure if we'll be in a booth or if we'll be just regular attendees or whatever. I'm not real sure yet, but we'll both be there.
Yeah, it's kind of looking like I may be just an attendee this year. I might get to do the S'more to More rally.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I
That'd
think
be
that
fun.
would be a neat experience, and I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yep.
Summer, right now in June, I have a motorcycle trip planned in Missouri. Not really sure what I'm doing the rest of June, but right now it's wide open. I'm sure I'll be doing something. I'm not.
That there is a kind of a shout out here to trail exploration.
Mhm.
Buddy Chad. He's organized a trail ride on the Alpine Loop in
Saw
June.
that.
In
I
June.
saw that. Which that doesn't cost anything. You just have to get with him, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, just have to
Yeah,
get
I
with him,
think
and
he's trying to limit the size of the group a little bit, but it's
mhm.
June 18th through the 23rd. If you're
Oh, that's
interested,
cool.
search for the Trail Exploration
Trail
on
exploration. Good
on the
dude.
Book of Faces.
Good deal. I'm pretty sure that the end of July, at the end of June, 1st of July, I'm going to be going to Indianapolis for a work deal. But after that, man, we're planning on being on a month. Kentucky, Michigan, the Quetico National Forest in Canada, up around the top of Lake Superior. Maybe spend a little time in the UP and then back down in the Minnesotas to do the Boundary Waters again.
That sounds
And
horrible.
I know it sounds horrible. Sounds absolutely horrible. And this year in Minnesota, we're actually getting some backcountry permits, and we're going to portage up into some different lakes and do some canoe camping, which I've never done before.
Yeah,
So
it's a lot of
pretty
fun.
pretty pumped about that.
I haven't actually canoe camped since I was a kid. And of
Yeah,
course, when you camp, when you're a kid like that, it's the best experience ever.
best experience ever.
I
Yeah,
I want to do some more of that this year off the kayak. So
yeah, and I'll be excited to take the FJ up there because when I was up there last time, there's just, I mean, it's all Superior National Forest, so there's so many places that you can go and you can camp and all that. And I wasn't able to do that last time because I was in the Adventure Press, which does not like dirt roads, and
yeah,
so we were kind of limited on what we did and what we explored. But going up into the Quetico, we'll definitely be taking the FJ, so we'll have fridge freezer for food and place to sleep and all that other stuff. So it's going to be a whole different experience. So I'm very very excited about that. I think that's going
and
to be
it
awesome.
won't be like the surface of the sun up there at that time of the year.
I was very pleased with the weather, and you know, count it as my ignorance, but summers in Arkansas, I'll just say it, they suck.
Yeah,
Summers in Arkansas are horrible. The humidity is just absolutely outrageous. You don't want to go outside. You just melt in your clothes. So I've always looked for a place to go, and I've always wanted to go out west because I've always believed in my heart you go to higher elevations, it's a lot cooler, and that is true.
Yeah.
But if you go north, that is also the issue. That's also the issue. It's cooler up there. The sun stays up forever. So 2 years ago, when we were in Michigan in July, the sun stayed up to almost 11 o'clock at night. So I mean, your days are like forever long. Sun comes up at 5 o'clock, goes down at 11 o'clock. So it's like the craziest thing you've ever seen. I'm
Oh,
not
yeah.
used to this.
Yeah.
But the weather was in the 60s in the day, 40s at night. It was perfect.
Yeah.
Absolutely perfect. Now you do have to have some stuff for mosquitoes and black flies and all that. You know, there's bugs, but
Yeah.
as far as weather, oh my gosh, it was incredible.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
I fell in love with the North. So anyway,
That
I'm
would be
excited.
fun. It's definitely
I'm
on
excited.
my list of places to
I'm
go
excited about
someday.
that.
Yeah.
I have also taken some, put my name down on some goals, and this is new for me. Everybody knows that I'm goal oriented. So if you give me like a national park stamp book, I'm gonna kill myself like that. That's state park ones. I'm gonna kill myself to get that sucker done. I
Yeah.
love it. Absolutely love it. So this year I've taken the 52 hike challenge, put my name to do in the hat to do 52 hikes in this year. Pretty excited about this, which also keeps my goal of being healthy
Yep.
since I've lost my weight. And so I've also taken the 365 challenge, which is 365 miles hiking in the year on public lands. There's a thing in Arkansas called the Iron Ranger Challenge. And you can do this by walking, hiking, paddling, biking, anyway, as long as you do it on public land or city parks. You do 100 miles, you can send off, you get a certificate and a patch. It's free, don't cost you a thing. You just
Well,
have to keep up with it.
if you float the Buffalo, that's over 100
That's
miles, right?
it. All you have
Yeah.
to do is that, and you
Yeah.
get the Iron Ranger challenge. So all you got to do is
I'll
keep up with it.
I'll sign up for
Pretty
that.
neat. It's
Yeah.
pretty neat, and it's free. Also, if you don't know, this is the 100th anniversary of the Arkansas State Parks. I didn't know this until I went to Woolly Hollow State Park last
Y'all need
weekend.
to get one
State
of
Parks Passport
Yep.
is free. They have a program this year called the Club 52 program that encourages people to visit the parks. You can go to arkansasstateparks.com/passport, get more information about it, or go to a state park and they will be glad to tell you all about it.
Yes.
So if you get 5 state parks stamps, they put stamps in there, they give you a sticker. If you go to 25, they give you a deck of cards. 52, they give you a t-shirt commemorating your achievement. So you can go to a park a week. I didn't know we have 52 state parks in Arkansas. Had no idea. That is a lot of
That's
state parks.
crazy. Yeah.
And they all have something different. They all offer something different. If you're out there traveling, doing stuff around, what a great way to experience an adventure. So
Right.
I love it. I'm going to do those things. And if I find any more, I'll probably do those too. But that just gives me some goals for 2023. I don't really do New Year's resolutions. Do you do those?
No,
No.
not really.
Yeah, because
No, I mean,
I grew up
reflect
thinking,
yeah, I mean, I reflect and think about things, that maybe
Yeah.
I'd like to do or whatever. But
well,
I don't really,
I'm one of those guys that I grew up thinking that rules are made to be broken. So if I make a rule for myself or like a resolution, I'm gonna break it. So that's just what
I'm
it
gonna
is.
break it by noon that day.
Yeah, I'm gonna break it by noon that day. It was funny
Right.
because my mother-in-law was always paying me. She said, "I'll give you $50 to quit dipping for a month." I was like, "Okay." So I quit for a month, and on 32nd day, I'd start back again. Because I just wanted the $50, and I could quit doing anything, anytime. But rules are made to be broken. So
Yeah.
I don't do resolutions or anything like that. But you give me a goal, and I will kill myself meeting that goal. And so I wanted to have something this year to be able to say, man, I did that. And that was an accomplishment. I've already started reading books again. I listen to books online. I'm reading my Bible through in a year. I'm doing all that as far as mental preparation. But as far as physical, I'm doing the 365, the Iron Ranger, the State Park Club 52, and the 52 Hike Challenge. So that's going to be 4 pretty cool things. And a lot of them go together.
Yeah.
Boom. Shakalaka.
They'll work together. Yep.
Yeah, they
For
work
sure.
together. So anyway, I am excited about that. I think that's going to be a pretty neat thing to get involved in and something I've never done before. And it'll also, along with that, try to keep a better, healthy me, which I
Yeah.
also want to do. So
Good for you, buddy. That's
thank
good.
you. I appreciate you. Now, as far as topics for the show, do you have anything in mind about what you want to talk about topics wise coming up in 2023?
Well, so I was thinking earlier, one of the things that I feel like was pretty popular was when we talk about the places that we go,
Yeah.
particularly like, uh, Coyote Crossing, for
Hmm.
example. We met somebody, I met somebody here at Haw Creek Falls here back in September that commented on our podcast about that. And he said he really appreciated it. They were down there, they stayed at Coyote Crossing, and it was because we covered it. They learned about that and hip camp and all that. So I feel like that's going to be something that might be good to focus on. The gear series, I don't know, I love talking about gear. So
Mm,
maybe
I love
talk
it.
about some gear some more.
I love it. I've got some new gear for my backpacking trip. I've got a
Okay.
new tent that I purchased secondhand off eBay. Got a great deal on this tent. Oh my gosh, it was
It weighs
such a
like
good deal.
3 ounces or something.
It's really light.
Okay.
Gia helped me set it up. I practiced setting it up on Sunday just so I don't want to be like this goober that goes out in the middle of nowhere and can't set my tent up. So I always practice. And so I got it out, took it out of the sack, set it up. I set it up in a minute and a half. And this is a ground tent, that sleeps one, but it's so big, so nice. I seam sealed it myself.
That a
Um,
minute and a half? That's
minute
like
and a half. Yeah,
rooftop tent speed.
I know.
That's
I
crazy.
know. I'm so pumped about this. This thing weighs less than a pound and a half, and it is so stinking cool. And it is like one of the top name brands in backpacking. And it's made by Tarp Tent. It's this little old bitty, uh, hole in the wall place that these guys sit around and they make tents. And it's just like a couple guys. It's not like 30 guys. Real small business. And it's so funny because let me tell you how the measure of a good company to deal with. I emailed them a question about seam sealing this, and within an hour, I got an email back from the owner, not some little, peon that's out there sewing the
Yeah.
tents. I got an email from the owner telling me exactly what to do. And he could have sold me this, $200 or $300 deal, but he sold me a $12 paintbrush and bottle of stuff so I could do it myself. And
Wow.
I set it up in my living room and I did it myself. And so it was that's a measure of a great company to me.
Yes.
And I thought that
Yep.
was just amazing. So I did that, and so it was. So Gen Xers, man, agreed, Tony. We're from Oklahoma. Enjoy videos and places to stay in Arkansas. We do not know all the cool places to stay, and enjoy any insight on places to stay. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
See, I've heard that so many times. I feel like that's going to be something worthwhile
I think it
focusing on.
is too.
Yeah.
And not all of our listeners are in Arkansas, but a lot of people travel to Arkansas because if you're in surrounding states, Missouri, Oklahoma, Texas, Louisiana, Tennessee, a lot of them come because we have two beautiful national forests in one state. And
Yeah.
they're like, we don't have that here. We have to go there. And
Yeah.
so anything that we could share about, those areas is going to be beneficial to people. And that's what it's all about,
Yeah.
sharing our experiences with that. So, anyway, I love the gear. I also got an alcohol stove uh, that's like half the weight of my jet bowl, and I got it out the other night and I measured to see how much uh, fuel it would take to boils water in a minute and a half, and I've got enough in my little bitty bottle for 8 meals. So it weighs uh, I think like 12 ounces for the whole thing. It's a Foster's beer can with a little shield and a little bitty stove that you pour alcohol in, light it, and then it's gone. It's
That's
so
crazy.
stinking cool.
That's
So
crazy.
I got some new gear I want to try out, and I want to let people know, this $40 stove it's the bomb. So anyway, I'm pretty excited about that. So love talking about the gear. I want to share our experiences as we talk about different tips and tricks from the trips that we go on. I think
Speak,
that's helpful. It was
speak.
helpful for me.
Yes, real quick. Speaking on tips and tricks, I have been looking for a way to get a large dog in a rooftop tent. So, if anybody out there has any tips, any tricks that they have, please feel free to share them.
Okay,
I'm
there you
looking for
go.
any advice.
That would be a great show for to do on pets because the more events that we go to, holy cow, there are dogs everywhere.
Yeah,
And so doing one on pets, I think we've done one on pets before, but this would be pretty cool. Mike Keever, he says Mike Keever,
ask
ask him.
Mike Keever. Okay. The last few times I've gone out, I've really missed the dogs when they haven't gone with us. So
Yeah.
that's something I want to try to do more of this year is camping
Okay.
with the dogs.
But yeah, I want to share from our experiences. I believe that people can learn from my mistakes because there are a lot of them that I make. I've been working on my rig for 7 years, and I change something up every time I go. And we got out. I worked so hard on putting electricity, running water in my FJ. And the first time I took it out, I hated it. Absolutely hated it. The second time I took it out, it didn't work. And I was like, screw this. And I threw it in the trash. And so, learn from my mistakes. There's so many things that you can learn from what we do wrong. And so I want to share that. I want to have friends on who I know and trust because I know that they know what they're talking about.
Yes. Yeah.
They may not be the most popular people in the world. They may not have the most followers. They may not have the biggest accounts out there on social media. But if they're living the life and they've made mistakes and they've traveled around, lived in their cars, they know what they're talking about. And I
That's
like
right.
to have them on. And you know, I think that's cool. And
Yeah.
I need that. I need that to learn from them as well.
Yep.
Because I'm not on here because I know everything. I'm on here because I like to talk. That's pretty much it.
And you love talking about this topic.
Yeah. Yeah, it's my thing.
Yeah.
It's my thing.
Yeah.
I want to reach out to people living the life, have them come on not just to do an interview, but to talk about a certain topic. People that we would consider pros at what they do. So I just don't want to come have people on like 395 Junkie. We just came on and I was just in awestruck with him. And I just want to know everything about his life. But there are certain things, if we can get them focused on certain things, we can get some good out of them. Look here. We were just talking about you.
We were just talking
Chad.
about Chad. Hey, man.
Tell us again about the trip that Chad has planned.
So he's got a Alpine Loop trip planned for June 18th through the 23rd, I think.
Okay.
Unless it's full. I don't know if it's full. I haven't checked yet, but it's yeah, it's something that he always puts together really cool trips and stuff, and I've sort of been keeping up with it. I've never been able to timing has seemed to be off so many times, but yeah, he's got one.
And Chad's really gotten into. Chad sent me a message a couple months ago. I guess it was when I went to Santa Fe and we had visited all of the chapels and different things like that. And he said, I really want to get into more of that, seeing more of the history, taking in more of the area, not just going out into the middle of nowhere, but stopping at the little hole in the wall places to eat and, the getting some local food and, just doing things like that. So there's going to be some incorporation in that where you just won't just go out there and do a trail. You'll actually get some education while you're out there as well. Yeah. So that's cool.
I think he needs to load up a roof rack and a rooftop tent on that new Mustang he has.
Wouldn't that be something?
That would be something.
I
I've seen them on
guarantee you this, his fuel mileage would go down. That's
guarantee.
all I can guarantee you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to broaden our perspective and change our topics to not just do overlanding, but as we've done in the past, but talk about the things we like to do, like kayaking, overnight kayaking trips. Talk about that gear, where we go. I want to do more hiking, backpacking, talk about trails and gear, bike packing. I'm building a bike packing bike right now, which Chris from Trail Rated Coffee has got me into this bike packing thing, which is pretty much overlanding on a bicycle. Who knew?
Yeah.
So,
I didn't know until you told
thanks,
me.
Chris. I needed another hobby. So, appreciate that. I didn't spend enough money as it was. Now I've pretty much doubled the amount of money I spent.
Yeah.
Building another rig. I can tell you this though, building a backpacking bike is a lot cheaper than building an FJ for overlanding. I
Oh,
promise
I'm
you.
sure. I'm sure.
I tried to figure out how to put a rooftop tent on the bicycle. I haven't figured it out, but I'll figure it
You're
out.
gonna have to put back straps on it and put it on your back.
I'll put it on my back. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to some new places this year I've never been, which I try to do every year. I want to talk about where I'll be going and what we'll be doing. And so that's some of the things that like real life experiences that I want to talk about. Kind of what you said. People get a lot out of that and the experiences that we have, the places that we go, and talking about things like that. And so I really want to do that. But there are also certain topics that I want to cover, and some of these I haven't thought about until recently because it was just a real life experience for me. So you and I are different. You have a Gladiator. I have an FJ.
Yeah.
Yours is a 2021,
One.
so recently new. Mine is a 2007, so mine's 15, 16 years old this year. So overlanding in an older vehicle. My FJ just rolled over coming back from Texas, 215,000 miles on it, and it had some trouble getting back home. And there were certain times that I was worried that it was actually going to make it home. And so, does that concern you? If you have an older vehicle with lots of miles, do you think twice about driving it to Colorado or driving it 15 hours to South Texas? Or or does that concern you when you're wheeling the Alpine Loop in Colorado, or I have to drive this thing home? Because I don't put mine on a trailer and take it out there and wheel it and then put it on a trailer, take it home. I drive it there, do
Yeah.
my stuff, and then I drive it home. Is that a concern? So there's a lot of people out there who have older vehicles that we need to talk about these things. What difference is that as far as having a new vehicle compared to an older vehicle? Because what we're doing is traveling over land.
Yeah.
And so, we're putting the miles on. And most of the time, most of the miles are highway miles.
Yeah.
And, we get there, we do some trails, and we drive it all the way home. So we talked about going places. I'm going to freaking Canada. You're going to Colorado. That's a long stinking ways away. So we have to think about these things and the upkeep, the maintenance, the different things we have to do before we do that. So that's
I
one of
just
the
turned
topics.
over 30,000 miles on mine
Oh my gosh, it's time for a trade in.
in a year and a half.
I don't know how you drive a vehicle with that many miles on it.
I
That's
know.
crazy. A year and a half, 30,000 miles.
Yeah. It's already time for its third set of tires.
That is another one of the topics I want to discuss, because another way that you and I are different is that your vehicle is your daily driver.
Yeah.
Mine sits in the driveway all week because I have a company vehicle that I drive. How is that different? So how does that affect your vehicle, your outlook on builds, different things like that? Of course, you have done everything you wanted to it. You didn't hold back. It doesn't matter if you drive 60 miles a day or not. You're still going to put 35s and want to put 40s on there because that's just the way you are, as long as you can get in the garage. But it's
I've got the biggest tire I can get and still get in the garage.
it's different. It's different for us, and a lot of people have this issue, is that their overland build is their daily driver, and how does that affect you in some way? And so, I have a company vehicle. I have a Prius that's pretty much my daily driver,
An adventure Prius.
and Adventure Prius, and I have two motorcycles. So I have a whole bunch of different ways of traveling. But if I had to
And a
drive that
bicycle.
FJ every day, that would be completely different
Yeah.
than the way I live right now. And so that's another one of the things. Another one of the things I want to talk about, reselling your investment. And this is something that I've seen a lot lately, is that people spend 10, 20, 30, $40,000 on a $80,000 GMC prospector, and then 6 months down the road they're trying to sell it for $150,000. Now, some people build up rigs to sell them. I understand that. But I have spent 7 years building up my rig. I've got it just the way I want it. I don't know if I could part with it now. And so would that be an easy
That
thing
thing's
for
gonna
you to do? Or
no, that thing's gonna be like Christine. You wouldn't it wouldn't let you part with it, Joey.
right,
You
but
guys are
but what
permanently.
about you? All the time that you've put into your Gladiator. Okay,
Yeah.
it's newer. Would you have a hard time getting rid of it?
I wouldn't. I mean, the last truck I had, I didn't do anything to it but replace the tires and put a bed cover on it. And I had that truck for 13 years and loved it. And actually, I felt bad for getting rid of it, and I feel, the same way about this Gladiator. So I can't foresee myself getting rid of the Gladiator.
I,
I just don't
if
see it.
you get on what's the Expedition portal, and they have
Hmm.
the classifieds on there, and people are posting rigs on there, one rig after another, and they've spent all this time, all this money. I've spent years building up this rig, and it's time for it to go. We're trying something new, blah blah blah. It didn't work. That is something that blows my mind. And
Yeah.
so I want to talk about that, and I want to have some of our listeners come on there and say it would be easy for me to get rid of mine and start over because I love building rigs, or I'm so attached to my vehicle, there's no way I could possibly get rid of it. So
Yeah.
some people are on one side of the coin, some people are on the other. That's something to talk about.
Well, I would be on both of those. I really enjoyed building this one, and I'm really kind of attached to it. So I I I don't foresee myself getting rid of it. I do foresee myself building another one.
Yeah,
But those two don't they don't necessarily have to go together.
right.
We can keep
That's
the day.
true. And I tell you something that goes right along with that is, for 3 or 4 years, every day I was looking up drawer systems or refrigerators or drawer slides or
Mhm.
uh, rear systems or rear seat deletes or roof racks. And now that I've got everything done, it's like, now what? I don't, wh- I spent all my time researching all this stuff, and now it's like, I've got it just the way I want it. Now what? And so you
Yeah.
kind of have that depression, that rig build depression, where
You
you're
know,
like, I don't know what to do now.
I think there's some truth to that because just a week ago I was looking at Dodge Power Wagons.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
it's
because they
almost
come
every
with a
night that I'm looking at four-wheel drive vans. So,
yeah.
it's there's something in my future, and I can promise you it's going to be a van, and it's going to be a four-wheel drive van. If I find the right one, you'll see it sitting in my driveway. But yeah, you just get that depression of, crap. I want to
I'm
build.
done
I
now.
love doing that. I love putting all this together and making it work and taking it out and using it. And now that everything, but also, I love taking my FJ out and I know exactly where everything is. I
Hmm.
know exactly how much food to take, how much my fridge will hold, how
Yeah.
much battery it will charge. Um, it's just I love both of it. And so, look at it. Don't do it, Tony. Don't do it, Tony. Okay, Tony. Mike Keever's on here.
Yeah.
I think he said to ask you about how to get a dog up in a rooftop tent. I think he said you were the expert on that.
I am there. I've got a 70-pound black lab that I want to take with me, and I'm not sure how I'm going to get her in the rooftop tent. So
So you need a way to get it up the ladder, other than over your shoulder,
other
because
than
that's
over
where I
my
carry
shoulder
Bree.
and try to,
Yeah.
climb the ladder with a dog on my shoulder. Now I've seen people make ramps. There's products out there that you can, sort of strap to your ladder, if you will. I think iCamper even makes,
Hmm. Ladder cover.
an accessory thing.
Yeah.
I saw one guy that he puts his tailgate down, gets his dog up on the tailgate, then he gets up on the tailgate, unzips his window, and he just, you
Ah,
know, that. So
yeah.
that's way better than climbing the ladder, but it's still not ideal. Like,
Okay.
so I don't know.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Mike, if
Okay.
you have any advice, that's something we're looking for,
Awesome.
or I'm looking
Awesome.
for.
I want to talk about one of my favorite things to talk about is, especially when we get close to where we're going to go this summer, I want to talk about dream trips. I always research everything to the nth degree. If I'm going to such and such, whatever, and I research, research the little hole in the wall places to eat, the diner, drive-ins, and dives places around there to go. If you need permits or something like that, dream trips,
Yeah.
where you want to go, and so I want to talk about that. Also, I want to debate, um, which is better, going solo or with a group, and how each is different.
Yeah.
So, we've done both.
Yeah.
There's goods and bads to both.
Yeah.
And so we can debate that. Okay, Mike comes on here. They make treads for the ladder steps. We haven't used them yet. We extend the ladder as far as we can. And the 70-pound, 75-pound GSD,
German Shepherd.
okay, climbs it. So they make treads for the ladder steps. So you'll have to look into that. If you've got a website or a link or something like that, Mike, if you would put that on there, we'd appreciate that. Also, which is better, kids or no kids? Or which is easier, kids or no kids?
Well, I think
And how does that affect what you
beauty
plan?
beauty is in the eye of the beer holder. I
There
mean,
you go.
it's
But I don't have kids, don't travel with kids, but I travel you who takes your daughter. So that affects a little bit of what we do.
yeah.
It affects the amount of stops we have because I got to pee a lot. So, I mean, how does that affect? So, we'll talk about that, having kids on trips. Also, another topic, a lot of people look down on this, overlanding in campgrounds.
Oh, no,
Okay.
I don't.
But,
I don't look down on that. Not at all.
right. But some people do. But here's the deal, we were gone for 3.5 weeks this summer. We spent 3 nights in a KOA to wash clothes, to shower, to get everything out, clean it, and put it back. So there's a time and a place for everything.
Yeah.
And so, um, I like public lands, love public lands. But if you're in Texas, there are none.
There are none.
So what do you do?
Or
And
not
so
many.
that's why we go to Coyote Crossing, which is private. I don't know if you consider that a campground or not, but you have to reserve and pay a price. So even on the River Road in Big Bend, that was reservation, paid $10.
Yep.
And so there's a time and place for everything. So people that look down on people that overland in campgrounds, there's a time and place for everything. And also, this is one of my favorite topics, and everybody does it different. Keeping clean. How do you keep yourself clean and your vehicle clean? Because you have the cleanest vehicle of anybody I've ever seen. And so, how do you keep it clean? And what do you use to keep yourself clean? I have a brand new shower. We used it twice while we were gone, and I absolutely love this thing. I can't remember the name of it, but it's got the sponge.
Yeah.
It's got its own, everything's in one little thing. You plug it in, water runs through a sponge.
It's a geyser.
Geyser. That's right. It's a geyser shower. and it was incredible. I loved it. So anyway, how do you keep clean? How do you keep your vehicle clean? But that's just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
We got a lot to talk about in 2023. Man, I'm excited.
Great year. I know it's going to be a great
I
year.
am so excited.
Lots to look forward to. See how this year shapes out.
Well, we've been doing this a while now. We have a few topics under our belt, but we always have something to talk about. And I want to tell everybody out there that listens to us, whether on the podcast or whether you listen to us live, if you're coming on here and commenting, we really appreciate that. We thank you for being here with us and sticking with us. You are amazing, and we love to have you here. And you are what keeps us going. We thank you for your support. We had an amazing year in 2022, and 2023 is going to be even better. So thank you for taking this ride with us. We appreciate you.
Yep.
Really do. So tune in next week.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
That's right. Same bat time, same bat channel. And on behalf of Tony and myself, we appreciate you being here. Thank you for joining us on Professor Bats and Friends. Happy New Year, 2023. We'll see you next week.
Join us next week.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
Boom.